After learning about the decoders and marks, now we have to understand the important application of these decoders and marks, which is forming or implementing any boolean function using these decoders and marks. So here you don't even need to go through the minimization process that is normally involved. So you can directly use the decoders and marks for your implementation if you are able to formulate a truth table. The truth table you need to know. The truth table you will need to know, and for any given problem you will first actually formulate the truth table. So given the truth table, you will be able to directly implement the function using decoders and marks. And please remember, I am repeating this again and again, you will be able to directly implement the function using decoders and marks. So if such a problem is asked, don't go for K-map reduction or Quinn-McCluskey method and expect marks to be awarded because of your effort, because that is a wasted effort. You don't actually need to do any sort of minimization when the problem asks you to implement using decoders or marks. So if you are doing some waste effort, you actually should be penalized, not even give any marks. So please remember that, please keep that in your mind, and try to understand now this lecture how you will be able to do that. Actually this is very simple. You need to understand a few basics. What the decoder was, try to remember again what the decoder was doing. The decoder was basically producing the min term of the input combination. Whenever you have an input combination, input binary word, the output, corresponding output is getting activated. That particular min term is getting produced at the output when it is doing that. So for that particular input you are getting a high, or suppose it is active high, so in that case you are getting a high output at the particular pin, at a particular pin. You know that particular pin where you will get the high output when that particular input word is coming. You know. What is now the SOP? The SOP expression is basically the ORing of the min terms producing the high output. So what you can do, if you know all the min terms, and the min terms you will most definitely know because you know the truth tables. I mean to say, you know the min terms which are going to produce you a high output, that you know. So those min terms, or those outputs from the decoder, you can collect together and pass through a OR gate. You have to or sum those min terms which produce a high output. That is what you need to do. Now you know that when that particular min term is coming at the decoder input side, which particular pin is getting high, which particular pin is getting high, you know that. So what you need to only do, you need to take that pin outside, and such other pins whichever min terms you know are producing high, or should be producing high output, you take those pins out and pass through a OR gate. So you connect the output pins of those min terms which should have high output to an OR gate, and this serves the purpose. That's all you need to do. So you see an example. The full adder, you remember, If you remember the full adder, the sum was the sum actually was a summation of the min terms 1 to 47. You look back to your lecture of the full adder and look back at the truth table, which min terms were high when your input combination was like CI C in A and B, and which outputs are high for your carry out. So these are the min terms. 1 2 4 7 are high for the sum and 3 5 6 7 are high for the carry out. So what you would do at the input side of the decoder, you should connect x2 x1 x0 as C1 AB. Don't mess up with the order. Remember that the order must be perfect. x2 x1 x0 is connected with C1 A and B in this order, and you know that for getting the sum, my output is high at the min terms 1 2 4 7. So whenever an input word combination, so whenever corresponding to the min terms 1 2 4 and 7 are coming at the input, I must get a high output at the S output. And I know from the decoder logic that whenever such combination is coming at the input side, the pins 1 2 4 and 7 will get activated active high. So I take these pins together and connect this to an OR gate, and this is giving me the sum expression. This is giving me the sum output, S output, or the result output. Similarly for C0, what I need to do, I need to simply connect 3 5 6 and 7 together. 3 5 6 and 7 together I need to connect. So simple, very simple. So whatever function, whatever problem you are given, you simply need to form the truth table. And for the inputs, you only note which outputs are 1. So you know the min term numbers. Some min term numbers will be here. Suppose suppose 2 6 7. Then you simply need to take 2 6 and 7, these pins out, and pass it through an OR gate. That's all. So you will know by looking at the truth table, you will know which of the outputs are 1. So those corresponding pins you are going to take out from the decoder and pass it through a OR gate. That's all. Now the problem can come in a bit complicated manner, where you may be asked to, you may be having you may be having 3 inputs, but you may be asked to use 2x4 decoders only. That is not so complicated, because I know that using 2x4 decoders I can build up a 3x8 decoder. So not a big deal. So I can do that. So this sort of variations can of course come, but the main idea remains the same. You have to take out those output pins corresponding to the min terms which are high at the output. That is all you need to do. Using mux, that is also very simple. What is the mux doing? The select pins here are actually producing a min term, which is the data input line that is passed to the output. Correct? The select inputs are producing the min term that they are producing. That particular data line is passing to the output. So if you know that I need to have this particular min term as high, so my Boolean function requires that this particular min term is high So I should judiciously select the input data lines to be kept high all the time, and whenever that particular min term selection the binary combination comes at the selection input, that particular high signal we will get passed to the output. So we need to maintain a high at the data lines corresponding to min term numbers and low to other data lines corresponding to min term numbers for which function output is high, f is 1, and low to other data lines. So now you see an example, same example, let us take. Here Ci AB is to be connected to S2, S1, S0 in order. Don't mess up with the order. In order we have to connect, and we have to use 2 muxes. So each output is demanding 1 mux. So here there is a difference. You cannot produce both outputs with the same mux. One mux means one output. You have to use another mux for another output. So now here you see your plus VCC, where I would connect plus VCC means the high. I would connect at data lines 1, 2, 4, 7. 1, 2, 4, 7. I have connected as high. So whenever C1 AB is the combination of 0, 0, 1, my A1 is getting connected to Q, and I am getting a high at the result, at the sum end. Similarly, for 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0 and 1, 1, 1. So these are getting connected here. So this data line I have to fix beforehand and then supply the input at the selection input side. Other data lines I have to keep as 0. Why? Because otherwise what might happen, there might be spurious voltages at these lines, and for some other combination you might get a high at the output also. So we need to fix the others also at 0. So for the decoder case this was not required, because those pins which in the decoder, so here these pins are not utilized and you can keep them not connected to anything, because the output is coming from these places, and this input, this signal is not affecting the output anyway, so you can keep it floating, no problem. But in the mux, since these channels are contributing to the output, you have to definitely give some grounding or something you should do here in order to fix them to low voltage. Similarly for C0, you see that we have connected 3, 5, 6 and 7 as VCC and others at ground. Now other Boolean, now sometimes we can use a lower order mux also in order to form Boolean functions. So here you see in the truth table we have 4 inputs. However, we are using a mux which has 3 selection inputs. So what to do? You have to express the lowest or the least significant bit in the binary input binary word. You have to express the function f in terms of that. So you would express f in terms of d. When you do that, you see you are able to break down this truth table into groups of 2, and hence this long truth table which was having 16 input combinations now gets divided into 8 parts which are having a very definite combination of ABC. So these first two having ABC as 0, 0, 0, next two having ABC as 0, 0, 1, and like that. So this ABC that is here at the selection input, when it is 0, 0, 0, now I will see what is my F in terms of D, and I evaluated that F is D itself. So I will connect the remaining bit D to A0 directly, because when it is 0, 0, 0, ABC is 0, 0, 0, A0 is going to come at Q, and I need that as D, because my F is same as D. If D is 0, 0 is coming here. If D is 1, 1 is coming here, and that is how it should be. So that is the thing that I need to do. I need to first evaluate F in terms of D, and you see I have done that exactly. And sometimes it is D, sometimes it is D dashed, sometimes it is directly 0, sometimes it is 1. No matter what D is, it is 1, always 1. F is always 1. So, and in that manner I will now look into the data lines, and I will fix up the input side of these data lines. Either it will be D, or it will be D dashed, or it will be 0, or it will be 1. So where it will be D, you see D will be here for 0, 0, 0, for 0, 0, 1, that means for 0, for 1. So this entire thing is the line 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So D will be connected to input data line 0, A0, A1 and A5, and A0, A1 and you see A5. Then D dashed is connected to A2 only. Then ground is connected to 3 and 4. 3 and 4 are taken and connected to ground. Then 6, 7 is connected to high. So this is how you are going to do the connections. So this is a very random example. So this is just an example, a very random example. But such whatever be your particular problem, you can always draw up the truth table and then express F in terms of D. So if you are having 4 inputs and you are asked to find out the expression using a 8x1 marks only, then you have to do this. Suppose you are asked to find out using a 4x1 marks, then also you can do it. Then what will happen, you will have to express F as a function of C and D, the lowest two bits. The lowest two bits, always remember that we are expressing the function as a function of the lowest bit or the lowest bits, not the higher ones. You can actually play a lot around this, but your life will become complex and the examiner's life will also become complex looking at your examination sheet. So it is advisable and that you always take the lowest bits and try to formulate the function of F. So here you see I have tried to do it with a 4x1 mark, and here the entire truth table is divided into 4 blocks now, depending on the AB combination. So this is the AB combination 0, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. And likewise you now have evaluated F in terms of C and D. And in the first, for the 0, you see F is simply D, it is copying D all through. In this case it is a NOR gate. So this C, D and F, if you look into this part, it is like a NOR gate truth table. This is like a AND gate truth table. So it is C and D, C and D. This was C NOT D. And this is here, you see, it doesn't matter what C and D is, your output is always 1. So in that light, we have connected the input side, the data input side to these signals. T is connected to A0, A1 is connected to C or D dashed. So I could have used a NOR gate here also. Okay, and last one C and D, A2, and the last one A3 to VCC, and S1 S0 is AB. Here I have not used the enable pin because it is not required, and enable has to be high in this particular case always if you keep it. So since we are not tying up 2 or 3 muxes together, we don't really need the enable pin here. One thing you notice, as we start reducing the order of the mux, we have to use logic gates at the input side of the mux. Here only one logic gate was used, here multiple such logic gates are used. So you can actually shrink the size of the mux, but that defeats the purpose of using a mux. What is the purpose of using a mux and the decoder? You don't have to form the complicated logic gate circuits. So if you shrink the size of the mux, this defeats that purpose. Now if you are allowed to use multiple 4x1 mux, then you can build up a larger mux, 8x1 or a 16x1 mux even, and implement the circuit directly. But if you are only restricted to use a 4x1 mux, only one 4x1 mux, then it basically starts defeating the purpose of using the mux. That one should also remember. With this I end the lecture, and I hope you have got a good understanding of how you can implement any truth table using decoders and muxes. So with that we also come to the end of combinational circuit design. We come to the end of combinational circuit design. So any combinational circuit that you might face a challenge now with, so you might be given a problem to design a particular combination circuit, all you need to do is understand what the output will be given a particular input and draw up the truth table. That is the first beginning point. After that, depending on what exactly your problem is asking, whether to implement using decoders and mux, you can implement directly. If it is asking you to find the reduced expression and implement a minimal circuit, then you have to form the reduced expressions using the reduction methods, minimization methods, and form the circuit, make up the circuit. If some standard circuit is given like adders, comparators, etc., you can utilize the knowledge that has been shared in the lectures. So that is all. Thank you for your attention, and from next lecture onward we will start a different topic altogether. Thank you.